Who is inviting us to heaven? Well, number one, it's my Creator. And remember, the scriptures say, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth. Let me introduce, because this is Isaiah 46, if you want to turn there. This is a verse I read at the bedside of so many dear Calvary saints, and before Calvary, Tulsa saints, and before that, Grace Community saints and Quidnessa saints. This is what I read when someone's laying there in the hospital, and they've got that, in their mouth, and they've got the mask on, and they've got perforated veins and all the picks and everything else in them. And they're looking at you with those eyes, hoping for some encouragement. I always read this about the one inviting us to heaven, our Creator, and we're supposed to remember. Look what he says about himself. Even to your old age, I am he, verse 4. Even to your gray hairs, I will carry you. I have made you, I will bear you, even I will carry you and will deliver you. When did God start all that? The verse before. Look at verse 3. You have been upheld by me from birth. You have been carried from the womb. The doctor that delivered me at Edward W. Sparrow Hospital in 1956, and my parents, by the way, saved the Lansing State Journal newspaper. I still have it. Can you believe it? Pack rat I am. From the day of my birth. And they gave it to me when I was, I don't know how old. And you know what? You know why it's important? That's the day the Lansing State Journal described the Aucas killing Nate Saint and the whole gang, down there in the jungles. And they announced it in the paper on my birthday, and I've never forgotten that. It kind of reminds me why I love missions. But I don't even know the name of the doctor who delivered me at Edward W. Sparrow Hospital 67 years ago. But I do know someone that was in the room. And the one that carried me, look what it says, verse 3, from birth has upheld me from the womb, even to my old age, and even when I'm gray-haired. I have clear hair, but even when I'm gray hair, he said, I will carry you. I have made you. I will bear you. I will carry, I will deliver you. That's who is inviting us to heaven. Secondly, our guardian, the one we're supposed to trust. You know what it says in Psalm 121:4? He who watches over Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. You talk about security. Everybody wants to get a Nest or a whatever doorbell, and you sign up to have the feed, so you can record all the creepy people that come up to your house and you don't know it, and you can even announce who's there because it has facial recognition. And people are really into security, and they want security in their house, they want security in their car, and they pack security and everything else. Do you know what? I have a guardian who doesn't just record the situation. It says in Romans 8:28, he is the active one who is working everything together for his good. And the closer I am to him, the more I see it's for my good too, because whatever pleases him is most important to me. Thirdly, the one who invites us to heaven is my designer. And I'm supposed to obey him because he invented my DNA. Now turn back to Psalm 139 and verse 13. For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. The one who designed me, the one who invented that incredible DNA strand that is in every cell of my body that determined everything about me. The one that designed the unchangeable parts of me, the parts I didn't have any choice in. He said, I want you to obey what I created you for. Boy, that's an important message, because we're living in a generation of people that don't want to be who they were born to be. They want to change it. They want control. They don't want a designer. They want to design their own life. God says, the one that invites you to heaven designed you from your DNA double helix up, and you're supposed to obey him. And that's who's inviting us, and he's my friend. I'm supposed to follow him. Psalm 16:11, one of my favorite verses, God says, I will show you the path of life. If you stay in my presence, there's fullness of joy. And if you do what I say, at my right hand, there are endless pleasures. I'm your friend, and I want you to follow me all the way through life. Who invites us to heaven? My completer. Oh, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, the weeping prophet. Jeremiah, the one who was, God told him he had to be single his whole life. He said, you will never be married. You will never have anyone in your home to greet you. You'll always come home to a dark house because your oil lamp burned out. You'll never have a nice meal on the table. And not only will you never be married, Jeremiah, your family won't like you. And they're going to betray you. And he says, but that's not all. He says, you're going to preach your whole ministry, all 40 years, and you'll have no converts. Can you imagine the missions committee meeting with that missionary? I mean, you know how everybody's just always pumping up the reports of all that the Lord is doing, and Jeremiah says, no, nothing this week, nothing this year. In fact, this decade's been pretty thin. And God says to him, that's why he's called the weeping prophet, by the way. That's why he wrote Lamentations. But God said to him, I offer genuine satisfaction, joy, and delight. Do you know Jeremiah 15:16? Thy words were found, and I ate them. And thy word was to me the joy and rejoicing of my heart. Why? Because I have results? Because I'm married? Because my family loves me? None of those things did he have. Because I have a successful ministry? Because I'm called by your name, O Lord of hosts. See, our completer completes us without the family, without the marriage, without the career, without the success. Just him is the one that's inviting us to heaven. The only one that knows how to give us joy and rejoicing. And he's the changeless one. We're supposed to seek him. Hebrews 13:8. You know, he's the same yesterday, today, forever. He never changes. He's the one that invites us to heaven. He's also our almighty God, the one we're supposed to worship forever. And if you think of God, think of what our new telescope, I think it's the Webb telescope. We had the Hubble, now we have the Webb, and they're looking out further and they're seeing grander things, and they have even more ability to focus and color them and everything. And if you think of the endlessness of our universe, but by the way, remember how God orients it. His throne is above Jerusalem. You wonder where heaven is? Go to the Holy Land and look up. That's where heaven is. God says, my throne is there, and he said, I am enthroned here, and this is the center of the universe, earth. And he, in Isaiah, stretched everything out from this point and unrolled, that's actually the word in Hebrew for unrolling a tent. God unrolled the galaxies that way and that way. You know what I mean? And they all spread out. That's what Hubble found out, the red shift and the distance and the fast way they're all streaking out. He says, when you look at that vastness, the endlessness, and then you look around you at the colors and everything at the microscopic level, it's unbelievable. And that's who's inviting us to heaven.